I do think though, for me though, I do think that we do need to come together as a people. I think it's very difficult. I think it's very difficult for people to come together where there isn't a common language as well. I think it's difficult for people to come together. I think there's things that are lost in conversations and communication, shall I say, where in Africa, I mean in Nigeria, how many different languages are in one country? I
Or
think there
even
needs to
the
be
fact that is Nigeria supposed to be one country? But yes, let's not digress. But yeah,
Nigeria's my country. Yeah, I think there needs to be a unification of people in Africa.
a common goal.
I believe so. I believe so. There needs to be less of a dependence on the West. I don't think we should depend on anybody for anything, because actually, put it this way: if you're a Nigerian, I'm in Ghana for whatever reason, and we choose not to use the dollar has no value here. Then, so therefore, we can't be controlled by the value of the dollar because that's not what we use here.
That just makes me think, why do we spray dollars at weddings? Why not Naira?
Make it rain, innit?
Can Naira not rain? We have very colourful notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the highest denomination in Naira?
500 Naira?
Is it 500?
I think so.
Are
I
you
believe
sure?
so. Yeah, I think it's 500 Naira. Yeah.
There's no 1,000.
Nah, it's 500 Naira.
500 Naira.
Yeah.
That's not
And
bad.
1,000. I've been told, Jeff, I've been told it's 1,000 Naira. Still, we have colourful notes. And if we started spraying Naira, it wouldn't run out as quickly as the dollars would run out. It would look grander. It would look way more
It's
grand.
true.
But yeah, little things like that. It's like you said, the reliance on the West. Obviously, we rely on the West due to slavery.
Thank you.
But how do we break them chains? And like you're alluding to, let's have a common language. Let's have a common goal.
Yeah.
And it takes time.
It does take time. It does take time. And I think you mentioned at the start that we need to change the narrative. We need to change the way people perceive Africa. We look at these adverts of, kids starving to and people are being asked to donate £2 a month, etc. This, that, and the other. Now, whilst that is ongoing, that's not the image of Africa that I want people to have. You go to Lagos, you go to Ghana, everyone goes there. Everyone goes Ghana and Lagos in Christmas. There's beautiful cities, beautiful roads, but it's almost very important for the other side to portray Africa in this light. It's almost like they want to believe there's a superiority element in relation to them and them. And I don't know. I got words, I got thoughts, but no,
But
it's not for me.
what do we do in the diaspora? Because I know one thing we wanted to talk about as well was like moving back home, moving back to Africa and living there. But cool, we're here, we're living in the West. How can we have an influence
think
on
we
not
got
only
to tap in.
perception, but let's bring about some long-term change? I know we talked about investment earlier, but
I think we definitely got to tap in and listen a little bit more, because I'm under no illusion that my perspective will be skewed. I think we've got to be on the ground, whether that's spending a couple of weeks or a couple of months there to understand the gravity of things, to really understand what we can do to help. I don't think it's something that we can look from the outside and say, oh, I can help by doing that, because what if it's not really helping? But you got to speak to the people. The people are the ones that tell us what they need help with, and from a sober mind, we can then logically incorporate these ideas. But I think certainly we can't make up what we think people need help with, not from an outsider's perspective, not for people that are living it day in, day out. It's almost, we can't do that. I think there needs to be things in place, structural. I'm going to bring back to the government, but there needs to be some changes within government. I think constitutions that exist need to be ripped apart and destroyed. To be honest with you, I don't think there should be a country where a president can stay in power for 25 years unchallenged. I don't think you should be able to even though it looks obvious as F to shoot at your opposition in a time of election, I don't think it should be normal for people to expect that ballot boxes are being tampered with
Yeah, that's what I was
at the
gonna
time of
reference,
voting
yeah.
system, at the time of voting and elections. I don't think that should be the norm. How do we change that? It's a question that stays on my mind day in, day out. I think certainly we've got to take a lot of power away from people. Certainly. But then
Those abusing
I'm a
power,
foreigner
yeah.
coming to the country. Well, yeah, I am a foreigner too. I'm coming to the country saying, we got to do this, we got to do that. They run me out the
Yeah.
ends. They run me out.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why it's important that we tap in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important that we tap in to the people over there. But, I mean, from your perspective, what can we actively do then?
Yeah, like you say, tap in, like really get boots on the ground and try and understand what is the culture here. You might go there on a holiday, you might go there and visit, but really spend an extended amount of time and really understand why these problems are here, whether that's with perceived corruption, actual corruption, infrastructure. Cool. I think for me, small ripples make a large effect. So if enough people are tapped in, cool. We've mentioned perception a few times. Let's increase the perception amongst ourselves in the diaspora. People are doing great things online, on social media, showing the great sides of Africa and what there is to do. To make it perceived as a place you want to go and visit and want to go and invest in, that would increase GDP and all these great things. So cool, perception. And then secondly, yeah, do invest. Personally, myself, I've wanted to invest in Africa and do some business there, but I have been put off from other people who have tried to do such and say, you can't go and do this, your business idea here, because you have to know this person, that person, you might not get your money, X, Y, and Z. But if you are a person who's going to go there and be honest, do things in the right way, people will think, okay, cool, we can do things this way. Like I said, small ripples make a big effect. So if I can have my little influence and have influence on other people, then we can start having this common goal, this common language to make a change.
Nah, I subscribe to it. I subscribe to it. Not so much the latter part, not to be difficult. I'm trying not to be.
What about investing?
No, I absolutely believe in investing, but I mean, when you mentioned about you being put off, but then you changing your perspective in the sense that, yeah, if you go there and you're honest and stuff like that. I think if people are gonna chance you, they're gonna chance you.
Yeah,
that happens everywhere. I think there's an element of risk that has to be taken, but there's also got to be an element of acceptance for what it is. Because, bro, we can't go into the lion's den and expect to take the dinner off the table without being challenged. I understand that's, yeah, cool. There's going to be some L's. I'm prepared to take them L's, though. I'm prepared to take them L's if, you know, there's a slim chance that more positive could come out if it does work. It's a shame that people are where they are in that regards, but bro, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, like, for me, for example, yeah, not to digress, but for me, for example, the amount of things that I get from going to different countries and going on holiday and stuff like that, even business ideas, bro, how I come back fueled with ideas, yeah. Bro, have you seen that ECOWAS thing, the Nigerian passport?
That rings a bell.
Brother,
isn't that part of like the passport or something?
Yeah, it's the passport where it allows you to go and stuff like that. There's no freedom of movement. There's not. Some of the countries that you
surely within West Africa.
I think with certain parts of West Africa, yes, but if we're talking about development now, we're not saying the West is the gold standard, but the West is what good looks like to a degree. Like, we've got to admit that they've had years of experience, and we should be okay with that. They've got hundreds of years of experience in comparison to 60, 50 years that some of our countries just gained independence. That's okay. We're not less than. We just haven't played on that field for that long. I think it's okay to have them as, okay, this is what good looks like. Absolutely. But if you're not exposed to good, how the hell can you improve?